This is one of the famous plantations from the southern states of America. Sugar plantation. They where the rich people live with their black slaves. And we're in Louisiana.
Decided to spend a little of your time with us here. You're welcome to take photographs as much as you like as I speak. The diamond ice to cool the air. The ice was shipped here all the way from Canada. Because we have no money coming in, and Mother is very sick. She needs medication. But he wouldn't listen because he thought he could make it work. And then what happened next? The South was plunged into the Civil War, and this area here, once known as Millionaire's Row, dwindled to nothing. They lost all their wealth, they lost their power, and their health was devastated. So on March the 12th, 1866, Henri was forced to give everything up. The first owners were Catholic and they wanted to be buried in the church. But their church and the graves were all washed down the river.
How many rooms did they say were in Nottoway?
The word Creole is complicated historically, just simply because depending upon where you're from, or what part of history we're discussing, there's a lot of different definitions that are used throughout time. The simplest way to use the word Creole in reference to this building is that Louisiana, before it became part of the United States, was Creole. Was very typical of the old Creole family of Louisiana, but it's not very typical of the American family who built here a little later in history. What happened is this. Laura's father tells his children over dinner one evening during sugar harvest season that there's a business meeting going on in New Orleans that will need his attention. So although everyone's out here in the country, he needs to go to the city for a few days. Laura asks that instead of him going by himself like he intends to go, could she go with him? Because she could keep him company, and also she could see what happens in a business meeting. And that's it. That's all that happened. Another reason it's going to fail? If your rule says you must provide enough food, but no one told you what enough food is, then you really can't enforce that, because how do you say you didn't give them enough? Over time, they tried to develop a few different versions of the Code Noir that were going to work better. For example, the cabins that are behind us were built here in the 1840s. At that point, the code no longer said adequate or enough. What it said was, you must provide at least 16 feet by 16 feet of space to every slave family to live in. So now we have a measurement. These were built bigger. It was built 16 by 32. However, it wasn't built that way to be generous. In the middle of this cabin, a wall cuts it in half. So the 32-foot wide cabin becomes 2 rooms that are 16 by 16, and legally 2 families could have lived in that structure. The photographs that are in this room, though, were taken here in the 1890s. So these photographs are taken after the end of slavery in the United States, but there were families who were still living and working on the plantation after that time.
Visit some plantations out there, like plantations like in the movie Gone with the Wind. I mean, it was one of them. I don't remember the name, but it was so gorgeous. I felt like I was in the movie. So nice, and I felt like I'm totally in Gone with the Wind. I really have to watch this movie again. Visit the Laura Plantation. It's really nice. They tell you really nice this story of it. This was my favorite part of New Orleans, the Laura Plantation. It was really nice.